Well, it seems that the Cardinals might be one of the hottest teams, the most attractive teams to deal with. News coming out of the meetings this week, the GM meetings that are going on right now. Brendan Donovan wanted by apparently Brenden 22 teams in baseball want Brendan Donovan. So today we're going to break down the seven that hate him apparently and don't want anything to do with him. No, I'm kidding. Today's episode of Card Central 365 brought to you by DraftKings. We are. But it is news. Derek Gould reporting that a lot of teams seem to be in on the Cardinals super utility man. And initially, man, I have really mixed feelings about that. I'll hand it off to you. What do you think about hearing this deal of Brendan Donovan being so sought after?
Yeah, highly sought after seems to be the case. Derek Gould had a post for STL today in which he outlined a couple of the teams that have had interest, talking about teams like the Yankees that we knew like this past summer were intrigued. Cleveland could be interesting. He wrote quite a bit about the Kansas City Royals, and I think that's one that makes some sense because of the surplus that they have with starting pitching. Like if you're the Cardinals and you're going to move Brendan Donovan, which I have been consistently on record saying I'm not a fan of the idea. I get that you're not necessarily at the pinnacle of contention in 2026 or 7, the way the Cardinals are building this thing back up. But I also think Brendan Donovan's got a lot of good years remaining. I think he would be a great benefit to the clubhouse to keep around. I would put the contract extension in front of him today and try to get him to sign something. That's what I believe about Brendan Donovan. I think the Cardinals are going to approach it differently. We've kind of known this since early September, I would say, that with this taking on more of a rebuilding tone, Donovan's name is going to be one that teams are going to call on. I don't know if it'll be quite 22. I think the quote said something to the effect of there should be 22 teams calling on Brendan Donovan. The Royals would be interesting, Joe, because they do have some pitching. They have more than what they need, which is not a commonality in baseball. There aren't usually very many teams that can say that. And so would they be able to match up with the Cardinals? How would Cardinals fans feel about trading him to a team like the Royals rather than just spending the money to retain the player that I believe is one of the best in the organization right now? It's interesting, but Joe, I really do think the Cardinals are going to move Donovan. Like the reporting from Derek Gould, the news that we're seeing come out of the winter, not the winter meetings, but the GM meetings. I saw John Morosi talking about the Cardinals could be a very active team as teams around the league look to maybe acquire that outfield bat that they're missing, and the Cardinals have more outfield bats than they need necessarily to fill out a daily lineup. So the Cardinals could be active, and Donovan, I think, is the best player that would have value. And so, unfortunately, for Cardinals fans hoping that he sticks around for the long haul, I just don't see it happening. But I do think it's important, like, if they're going to trade him, what they get back, what they get in return is going to dictate maybe how people feel about it.
That's 100%. Yes. I think that's going to be, it better be a haul. I think for a lot of fans, it better be one of the biggest returns that we're going to see in any big time trade, either at this deadline or deadlines of the past couple of years. And I get what you're saying. I get it. He's going to be 29 years old in January. You would not think he's going to be here for the, to reap the benefits of the rebuild that's happening right now. My question just would be, why not? Like, why wouldn't you have all, it's, if we are looking at moving these lefties, if we are looking at, if it's the left-handed bats first, if it's Nootbaar, it's Gorman, it's Burleson, it's Donovan, move on from those three and make Donovan be the centerpiece of your team, the leader of your team. So when he is 32, 33 years old and you're back to winning, he is the face of that franchise. When it comes to that, he's that key piece. I mean, he's the engine that's driving all of this when you do add all those other pieces in, because Brendan Donovan is just that. He is that player that he could bat first or second for you. He could be there to clean things up at sixth in the lineup. If you go out there and you get those big boppers, he can play second, short, third, left. He can go all over the field for you. It is you. Brendan Donovans do not grow on trees. We can't sit here and go, we got another Brendan Donovan in the system. No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have that in the system. you have another Nolan Gorman. You have a better Nolan Gorman in the system right now in JJ Weatherholt. Like you have that, like it's, but you know what I'm saying though? Like the guy that you expect to be the big left-handed hitting power second baseman, third baseman, wherever they put Weatherholt, that's Gorman's a poor man JJ Weatherholt right now. I think as far as what you would hope that he ends up being. Like you have plenty of other outfielders, as you said. So you can part ways with Lars Nootbaar. There is nobody within the system that you look at, and the comp right now is Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, I don't know about the Weatherholt to Gorman thing. Like, I hope that Weatherholt isn't that type of strikeout guy. I don't think Weatherholt has to be like a power hitter either. I think he can be more of the Brendan Donovan type of profile offensively. But like Brendan Donovan's already really good. And I don't know about face of the franchise even, and people would hear you say, well, 32, 33 years old. How do you know that his game is going to sustain through those years? I feel like it will. I feel like that's the type of player that he is. And like 32, 33, I know people see like Nolan Arenado kind of breaking down at a similar age range. I feel like Donovan's game isn't as much predicated upon power. He does a lot of the little things well. He's a winning player. And because he's not, yes, he was an all-star this year, but he's not a 30 home run guy. He's not like the bopper that you think about batting third in your lineup and leading the team in RBIs and home runs and everything like that. I think coming along with that is the fact that if you signed him to an extension, I don't think it would be very cost prohibitive, especially in a winter where you're going to shed a little salary with Nolan Arenado being traded. Not a lot. I think the Cardinals are going to have to eat a ton of money there, but you're going to shed some. You're going to shed some salary. I think legitimately with a Sonny Gray trade. Maybe they move Wilson Contreras, maybe they don't. But like payroll's already getting to a point where like that should not be the constraint because it's going to be lower than last year.